This story is very unfortunate. 25-year-old Naomi Dooshima was said to have gone missing on the 20th of February 2022 after it was said she had gone to visit somebody. For like 2 days, no one knew where she was, and a missing person notice was put out for her. All around Makurdi, Benue State, where she hails from and where she schools, the entire Benue State was looking for her. At the initial time, it was said she had gone for a hookup, but as the story began to develop, it turned out that this young girl was a victim of man's most evil mind. Barely few days after it was reported that Naomi was missing, her clothes were found along the streets of Makurdi, along with her phones, and it was all covered in blood. I guess it was at this point that they knew something bad had happened to her. And it did not take long after finding her properties covered in blood that her body was soon found covered in dirt, not far from where the clothes and phones were found along the roadside. Upon discovering her battered body, it was clear that Naomi had been murdered in the most brutal manner you can ever imagine. Now knowing that Naomi is dead, the police got to work. It was now time to find her killers and find the reason why she was killed. And this was how the story unraveled. Before we continue, don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed. Now, from what we know, the person who found Naomi's properties, her clothes and mobile phones covered in blood, was said to be the person the police first detained, as a suspect. I guess that is protocol. But while they had that girl in detention, the police also reached out to Naomi's friends and detained about 3 of them. So clearly a lot of people were now under pressure to say everything that they know regarding the disappearance and death of Naomi. While her friends and the person who found the properties were all in detention, all trying to tell the police what they know, all trying to tell the police that, they were not the ones, that they know nothing about her death, people came up to the police to let them know that there was somebody that they found around the vicinity where Naomi's properties and body was found. Apparently, it turned out that people remembered seeing a young man perambulating around the area a few days before her body was found. And it did not take long before the person was identified to be a young man named Shagbo Japhet. It was just like a brush off. It wasn't like he was suspected specifically. When the people were saying that, they remember seeing the boy around there loitering and acting funny, and when they were able to identify him and call him to the police, he went there like a regular person. It turned out that the police believed that he might have an idea, or he may have also seen something that could help their case. They did not detain him as a suspect. They thought he was a person of interest and he might know something, because around the period of time Naomi went missing, he was the person that neighbors and people saw loitering around the empty land where her body was eventually found. And when Shagbo was in the police custody, he denied knowing anything regarding the situation, given that it's Naomi's death and disappearance. He said he did not know her and he did not know anything concerning it, and that day he doesn't remember, but he was just looking for something that he had lost. Unfortunately for Shagbo, while he was in the custody trying to defend himself, Naomi's friends were also in custody, and when they saw him right there in the police station, it was when they said it clicked on them that Naomi did give somebody 150,000 naira to find a house for her. And the moment they saw him, that was when they remembered, oh wow, this is the guy that Naomi gave 150k to through a POS transaction to help find a house for her. By then, Shagbo had already denied knowing her or knowing anything regarding the situation. So the police, learning that, oh wow, he had a direct contact and a direct relationship with the girl, everything just changed for him. And instantly, the police turned focus to Shagbo. Shagbo turned from a person of interest to a suspect, and they began questioning him to tell the truth. He kept denying. It was after the police traced the money from Naomi's account to the POS and it was confirmed that he was the one who got the money. That was when he eventually started confessing, because at the initial time he was ready to argue for his life, but when he was caught, he had nothing left to do than to confess. And that was how Shagbo Japhet confessed to being the one behind the disappearance and murder of 25-year-old Benue State student Naomi Dooshima. But why did he kill her and how did he do it? Well, this is where you know that the mind of a human being has no limits to the extent of evil it could do. So, Naomi, who is a mass communication student in Benue State University, was said to have been looking for a new apartment, a new place where she could probably move into. And in the course of looking for a place, she met Shagbo, Japhet, who presented himself as an agent that would probably help her find a place. He told her that she would have to drop 150k deposit so that he can put it as a down payment for the apartment that she was going to get, in which Naomi used the POS machine to transfer the money to Japhet. Now, Japhet, being the moron and the stupid person that he looks like with his gigantic nostrils, God, that is one big nose. He used the money to play some kind of gamble. He pretty much gambled with the money and lost the money. Now, knowing that he had lost the money but yet still have to find an apartment for this girl, he knew he was messed up. He knew he was in trouble. So instead of calling her to explain to her, he invited her to his place, and I guess he told her to come and see the apartment or to talk more about the deal, not knowing that he had other plans. When Naomi came to his apartment, he pretty much attacked her, used the cutlass and violently struck her multiple times till she died, before secretly taking her body to an empty land where he dumped it somewhere, took off her clothes, her phones, and on his way, I don't know what he planned, or it's not clear what he planned to do with the phones and the dress and her clothes, but he took them at a distance and just dropped them somewhere, just apart from each other. I'm guessing maybe someone saw him. You know, I want to guess that is the point, or that is the moment somebody saw him, and he most likely just abruptly dropped whatever he was holding to talk to the person and, you know, make it look like he wasn't doing anything. Or maybe he did it to throw the police off because he knows that they will definitely come and look for her. And apparently, I don't know what his plan was, but it clearly didn't work. And that's it. That was why and how Japhet murdered Naomi Dooshima. It's just unfortunate that this had to happen. It's unfortunate that this happened to this young girl who all she wanted was to better her life, get a place, and just live her life. She had no relationship with this man. And it's just sad that even after the news broke out that she went missing and she was found dead, the entire media, the internet kept thinking that she had gone to meet a man, she had gone for hookup, she's a Ross girl. You know, it's just how we see stories like this when a young girl or a young beautiful looking girl like this are victims of money rituals or brutal killing. We automatically just think that they had gone for runs, and many times when the story comes out, it turns out that they were just people living honestly and unfortunately fell victim to evil people. At the same time, still, regardless, even if she had gone to do runs, what does it matter? Why do we think that that justifies the act of taking someone else's life? I don't know how. I don't know why we or why people see that or point it out. And thanks to a human rights activist and a social media personality, Ukankurug, who they say was the one who brought the story to light and who followed the story and made sure that this young girl got the justice and she was found and her killer was brought to book. Many of us would not have heard this story if it wasn't for him, and she would not have gotten her justice if it wasn't for him also. So shout out.